I do have to say that this is some of just the creepiest footage I've ever seen. This one is just sending me because he is just so serious. If this photo is edited, it was edited very well. To purposely try to trick people, like just especially a made up story that you pulled out of your ass. Weird behavior. Hey humans, it's Hannah. Welcome to your February TikTok debunking video. We haven't done just a normal TikTok debunking video since I think either November, maybe December, something like that. It's been a little while, which means I have some very juicy clips for you that we're going to react to and debunk today. I also have my own apology to make before we get into the TikToks today because I screwed up too. So all that and more in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you guys about the one service that has been a game changer for me in terms of decreasing my stress and increasing my free time, and that is Hungryroot. Hungryroot is kindly sponsoring today's video, and I honestly can't pick my favorite thing about them. Maybe it's that their online grocery service has everything under the sun, including bread, smoothies, kid snacks, desserts, salads, supplements, ready-to-eat meals. Or maybe it's the fact that now they have over 50,000 recipes to choose from each week, and many of them can be made in 15 minutes or less. But I think honestly, if I had to choose, my favorite part about Hungryroot is that I try things that I wouldn't normally try otherwise. Like these sour crunchy gummy rings I talked about last time that are lower in sugar, or these freeze-dried chocolate-covered strawberries. This week, I made the pasta alla vodka with a garlic baguette, and I also got some ground turkey in my box to get some extra protein into this meal. It was so quick to make, super easy cleanup, and it ended up being so amazing. You can also use Hungryroot for your family, knowing that they have incredibly high standards. Hungryroot screens out over 200 additives, including high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives, which means you can spend less time trying to study the labels in the grocery store and decipher the code of what they say. Plus, all their meat and seafood is free of antibiotics and hormones. I just know that you guys are going to love Hungryroot as much as I do. For a limited time, get 40% off of your first box plus a free item in every single box for life. Click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code HannahTheHorrible. That's 40% off your first box plus a free item in every box for life when you go to hungryroot.com and use code HannahTheHorrible. Thank you again so much to Hungryroot for supporting the channel. Now let's get into these TikToks. Okay, so first I want to clear up something and apologize. I screwed up. I fell for AI myself. So a couple videos ago, I think in the Elsa Gate video, we talked about this at the end, and I got this as a Christmas gift, and I asked for it for a Christmas gift because I found it and I liked it so much. I received a lot of comments, DMs, and messages about this, and most people were nice about it. But the second I found out and was informed of this and realized, I cut this out of the video. I went to the editing software in YouTube and just cut that entire section out where I talk about this and promoted the Etsy shop so nobody else would go buy from them, of course. Now, the only thing I really do want to say about this is that this was a good faith mistake. Some people accused me of this as if I did it on purpose. Like I knowingly knew that this was AI and was like knowingly promoting something when I gained absolutely nothing from promoting it. It wasn't a sponsor. It wasn't an affiliate. I had absolutely no skin in the game. So please know that this was just a human mistake. And I think that says a lot for somebody like me who debunks paranormal TikToks for a living and is very critical of AI. Even I got duped. And I understand that people are mad at AI in general, not me personally, but regardless of the way people told me, they were still correct. They were still right in the end. I still did make a mistake. So like I said, I deleted it from the video and I'm taking this out of my background completely. I will find something else to put in the frame in my own house. And I do just also want to say that I did look into it before I posted about it. I looked at every tab on the Etsy shop, the About Me. I looked through a lot of reviews, including every negative review I could find, which were not that many, and not one review that I could find said anything about AI. The blunder that I made, the mistake that I made, is that I didn't look hard enough in the description of the actual item, because further down in the description on the Etsy shop, the artist, the seller, I should say, not an artist, did say that they do use AI to create their pieces. And I think the reason that there's no mistakes in their pieces is because they use AI to generate it, but then they go and actually fix any mistakes, was kind of my understanding by the description. So I think they are actually trying to fool people. And I don't think it was an accident that they put the fact that it was AI generated so far down in their description. I feel like if they were proud of that and they actually wanted people to know, they would put it in the title or at the very top of the description. Just saying. Still my mistake. I'm not saying that this wasn't my fault. I still should have looked harder before posting that, obviously, and I will in the future. This was, at the end of the day, still completely on me, and it's also on me that somebody, even one person, could have bought from this seller when they didn't know it was AI and trusted my review of it. So that is still on me. That is still completely my fault. So all that to say, I do genuinely apologize. I should have looked more carefully than I did. So thank you again to those of you who did point out my mistake, and we can only try to do better going forward, because that was really embarrassing for me. Trust me, I am embarrassed. That was so stupid. All right, moving right along, let's get into the TikToks. Quick reminder to not send any hate or harassment to anybody that I talk about in this video. These types of videos are meant to be a lighthearted distraction from the absolute chaos and dystopian nightmare going on in the world right now. Ghost videos are just not that serious. So even if I get a tiny bit heated because I get frustrated with people trying to convince us that their ghost videos are real when they're not, it's really just not that serious at the end of the day. So please do not go send messages or harassments or comments to anybody. Leave your thoughts in my comments because that helps my videos anyway. So this first video is from Sebrim. I will put his full username while we play the video because I don't know how to pronounce his last name and I don't want to mispronounce it. This is Sebrim's haunted shed.
The video you're about to see has only one cut in it, and the reason why is because the original clip is about 15 minutes long, and that's way too much time of the allotted amount of time on TikTok, and it used up a lot of space on my phone, so I had to delete the original footage after condensing this. So you see me leave the shed, and then whatever happens, happens, okay? So for your viewing pleasure, please enjoy The Shed, Part 2. Okay, so you guys have been asking me to take you in the shed and leave the phone in there. And I know it's been a little while since I put out a video regarding the shed, but a lot has been happening and I just truly needed some time. So I took it. But just to show you, it is locked, okay? And I'm going to immediately, no cuts, as per usual. Okay, so we are walking into, God, these dolls are creepy. We're gonna walk in, well, not walk in, but we're in here now. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and set this up. You guys got a good view, right? Windows, everything. All right. I guess I'll catch y'all. I'm out.
This one is just sending me because he is just so serious. So let's talk about that video first. He tells us at the beginning that conveniently he has to make one cut in the video because the original video that shows this evidence is too long for TikTok. So he had to make a cut to like cut out all that dead air. That already to me tells me that this is fake, because just because he tries to explain the cut doesn't mean he's telling the truth about the cut. We have no way of knowing by his video that he didn't turn around and go behind the camera and cut that part out of the video and then start moving stuff himself behind the camera. That just does not make any sense. If he wanted to be more convincing that this video was not edited or that there was no funny business going on, he would have sped up that dead air. He could have still fit it for TikTok and then sped up the dead air in the middle, like way sped up, so that people, if they wanted, could take the video and look at it frame by frame and make sure that there were no cuts. So let's watch another video by him, because this is the one that actually shows why this is for sure fake.
So I'm back here at the shed again, and some of y'all are angry that I left y'all in there. Some of y'all are saying you want a different angle. At this point, I don't really know what else to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and walk into the shed. Not only am I gonna walk into the shed, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm setting it up at the highest angle, short of like making it fall. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this, because this isn't planned. I'm just trying something out, and I'm gonna leave this in here, and whatever. Okay, I'm gonna just do it like that. Okay. Now you guys are facing everything, okay? I'm going to leave out. And after I leave out, I'm going to lock this. I'm gonna lock the thing. Okay? Whatever happens, happens. I gave you guys an angle from there before, you didn't like it. Gave you guys an angle from I don't even remember what happened yesterday. But here's another angle, okay? So do with it what you want. And just so you know, because somebody actually said in the video yesterday, of course it happens from behind the camera. That's what's behind the camera, okay? Solid wall. That's what's behind the camera, okay? Okay. I'm out. That wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe I should close the door softer next time. Let's go ahead and try that again. Okay? I'm gonna close it softly this time. Lord of mercy. Okay. All right. I'm out.
I'm so dead. Okay, so people asking him saying that it always happens behind the camera, like, I don't know if he's purposely misunderstanding what people are asking or if he just doesn't understand what people are asking, but people aren't saying that it's like where you put the camera in the shed. They're saying that conveniently nothing ever moves in front of the camera. That's what they're saying. They're not saying that because there's solid wall, there's nothing there. They're saying like why doesn't anything in front of the camera ever move? It always seems to be stuff that is out of frame. They want to see the whole shed, not just like random POVs. But the most damning thing about this video and why I am laughing so hard is because you can actually see his reflection doing this. Those dolls have that plastic cover over them, and that was like his downfall. That is the one thing that he missed, because you could see, right here, look, you could see his arm reflected in the plastic part, and then at the very end you can literally see his head. You could see his black shirt and his head moving stuff behind the camera in the reflection. He did not edit this well enough to remove all evidence of him manipulating things behind the scenes. Lots of people were pointing this out in the comments, of course, and he did reply to at least one of the comments saying like, oh no, that's actually even creepier because, like, fun fact, you guys, that's not me. That wasn't me. So trying to convince us then that his reflection is the entity that conveniently looks exactly like him. We see this all the time, gaslighting the audience to try to convince us that they didn't set all this up. I will also just point out the fact that if you go to his profile, his bio says aspiring actor, which again raises kind of a possible red flag in my opinion, as well as some videos like telling us to engage with the videos, telling us please like, comment, subscribe, and then videos, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers, stuff like that, which there's nothing wrong with celebrating milestones as a creator, of course. Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And honestly, so happy for him. But you have to understand that from the audience's point of view, that makes it more likely that you're faking these things because you were testing out different things to see what would go viral. And people know that weird, creepy, or ghost videos often go viral on TikTok. You have a pretty good chance of going viral with those. But all in all, it doesn't really matter. The reflection proves that this is not real. Okay, TikTok number 2 is going to be the Ring doorbell woman. This is the much awaited, most viral one. This one has the popular song over the top that goes like, I think I'm gonna die in this house. You'll see it on like creepy videos all over TikTok. I might have to delete it from the video for copyright reasons. So I do change the music sometimes for copyright reasons. So I'll put some other creepy music over it, but know that that was the original music. Oh Hey Melly is the account that posted this, and it's sitting at almost 50 million views. 50 million views almost. And it's not her video, but we will talk about that. So just at face value, without looking into this at all, I do have to say that this is some of just the creepiest footage I've ever seen. Definitely some of the creepiest Ring doorbell footage I've ever seen. And I've seen quite a bit of Ring doorbell footage. And yeah, regardless of what's going on here, that is just so objectively creepy. So if you missed it at the very beginning, oh, by the way, this person, according to the actual person who posted it, this person is a woman. So we're going to use she, her pronouns, assuming that this is a woman. But if you missed it at the very beginning, she tries to pull the fire alarm. So this is like what she's doing when she puts the knife in her mouth and she's like, ugh. That's a fire alarm. She's trying to lure people out of their units. She puts the knife in her mouth, as you saw, which is creepy in itself. And then in her hands, people notice that she has a lock, some sort of lock. And then other people are saying it looks like zip ties. I don't know exactly what this looks like, but it looks like something to tie something up with, you know? Then you see her looking under the mats, presumably looking for keys under the mats, and again, presumably to break into somebody's unit. Unfortunately, I don't know exactly what this woman was doing in the end. It looks like drugs are involved, and that might just be judgy of her appearance, but like objectively speaking, it looks like she is on some sort of drugs just by the way her eyes are and just how disheveled she is, as well as wearing a sheet. Like, I had to censor it, but we literally get flashed. It's a lot. So this video caused a huge kerfluffle. Of course, everybody was asking, oh, hey, Melly, the person that posted this video, for context, did you take this video? Is this your Ring doorbell footage? Did this person get arrested? What happened? Was everybody okay? So, Hey, It's Melly posted a follow-up video that pissed a lot of people off. So here's that video.
Literally on my lunch break, giving you guys a story time because y'all are eating me alive. This isn't my video. I found this video on a Reddit forum for Airbnb hosts. So I don't know exactly who owns this video, but if you guys do end up finding out who it is, feel free to tag them below. I'll try to do my due diligence as well and try to figure out who it is. But the reason I posted this was because we own several Airbnbs throughout and manage Airbnbs throughout the area. So we've had some fair shares of weird Ring doorbell cameras ourselves. But I thought I would share this because I couldn't find it anywhere, and this should always be a really good reminder, not only to anybody who hosts as an Airbnb with an Airbnb, but also, oh my gosh, guys, my dog is losing it. But wait, Millie, chill. Someone tell her to stop. That you should always make sure that your guests are safe, and you yourself as well, people who don't have Airbnbs, don't keep a key under the mat or in an easy area for people to find and get into your house while you're sleeping. This particular person, from what I got from the Reddit forum, had been going door to door to other people's homes and then got to that complex and was going through every single unit looking to find a key or something to get into the house. Fortunately, that day, everybody had their door locked in that unit and the cops had already been called. I really don't know what happened. From what I read is that they never found the person.
So it's not Melly's footage. She got it from a Reddit post, she says, and she decided to post it on TikTok. She claims that as an Airbnb person herself, she wanted to just warn people not to put keys in such obvious places. When people were commenting on this, she kept saying like, no, I was just trying to spread awareness, guys, because people were like, it's not even your video, but you posted it as if it was. And she just keeps claiming the spreading awareness thing. Like, I was just trying to spread awareness, which this is a side note, and I have nothing against Melly personally, but I call bullshit on that. I doubt that, because if you really wanted to spread awareness, you would have started the video out with, I found this on Reddit. It's so scary. Other Airbnb owners, be careful. And no, she just posted the clip with no context, no indications that it's not her video, and then put creepy music over it. She wanted to go viral. She wanted to go viral with somebody else's clip, in my humble opinion. So in that explanation video, the original poster of this clip, who allegedly took this clip, again, I have no actual proof of that either, but the person who says that they took this clip is in the comments, and that is the account Key Cool. So Key Cool enters the chat and says, hi, this is my footage. Thank you very much. And Key Cool reposted it on her account. And then she puts an explanation explaining that it is a woman and that she's an Airbnb. Here, I'll show you that video.
So everybody wanted a story time on that video that I had posted. Yeah, so that video is old. We captured that in 2023, but I was just going through my camera roll last night and I just decided, to post it because I do clean and manage Airbnbs here in Nashville, Tennessee. So I see a lot of things on those cameras from people, coming home drunk, not knowing which doors there's, trying to open up doors and just, but that one was the main video that like really shocked me. For one, that is a gated community. So however that person was to get in there, they must have been staying there. Just to to see that and to see, you know, if your door would have been unlocked, like what could have happened. Nobody was hurt in that apartment complex. People did call the police. It was a woman. So they did call the police on her.
So this was in Nashville, Tennessee was the location, and apparently the cops were called, but as far as we know, nobody was hurt. As far as we know, this person didn't actually enter somebody's home or hurt anybody. Another side note is that Keycool was getting a little bit frustrated in the comments and elsewhere that Melly just took her video and got viral, and people were giving Keycool a really hard time about that. People in the comments were like, she gave you credit. What else do you want? Like, oh, you're just mad that you didn't get the views. And to that I say, yeah. I mean, I think I'm kind of on Keycool's side here. Like, yeah, I would be pissed too. And I think a lot of people are pretending like they wouldn't be pissed. But they would be. Like, let's just be super, if we're actually being honest, there's some people that are not on social media and genuinely don't care about views and don't want views, but the vast majority of people posting on TikTok on a regular basis or at all would prefer to go viral for their own video. I kind of think people are being really dishonest when they say, like, you're so silly for wanting the views. I wouldn't want the view. Like, she stole somebody's video. I think Keycool's valid there. Anyway, I digress. So there's a lot of debate online on whether this is AI or not, and so many people saying this is AI, and not asking if this is AI, saying definitively, this is AI, you guys. It's been proven to be AI. This has been debunked. This is AI. This is fake. It has to be AI because of this, that, and the other thing. So the arguments that I see for saying that this is AI say that it's because it looks like the knife comes out of nowhere, that the knife is kind of conjured out of thin air. But if you study the video, if you watch it as many times as I have at this point, which is dozens of times, you could see the knife does not come out of nowhere. You could see her holding it when she's walking up the stairs, and the contrast with the white sheet, you can see the knife on the white sheet. It doesn't come out of nowhere. She has it in her hand and she puts it in her mouth. Yes, the video's blurry because it's a Ring doorbell camera. The other thing that people point out is the feet thing, that the person's feet looks like it's blending in with the floor. And again, I think that any other Ring doorbell camera would kind of look like that too. We see people that look like ghosts on Ring doorbell cameras all the time. And like I said, I've watched this video, I don't even know how many times yet. To preface this, obviously, I've been fooled by AI, so like, don't take me as a 100%, 1000% truth, because anybody can be fooled, and videos are getting better and better. But from what I've seen from this video, nothing in it is nonsensical. Nothing doesn't make sense. Her movements are very natural. All the stairs make logical sense. Like, all the physics work out. All the signs look real. All the things in the ceiling, like, nothing is like disconnected or nonsensical. And so I personally don't see any evidence of AI in this video. People that argue that it's not AI argue about the timestamp in the corner that says 2023, saying that this video is from 2023. It couldn't possibly be AI because AI wasn't that good in 2023, especially generative AI. And to me, I'm like, well, AI could fake a timestamp. AI could say it was from 2023, right? I think it's not AI because I just don't see, I've looked at like every part I could and I don't see any evidence of that. So I really wanted to get to the bottom of this, because my thought was, if I can prove that this was actually posted on Reddit or Facebook in 2023 or maybe even 2024, if I could find the original post somewhere online from several years ago, that pretty definitively proves that this is not AI. Because if it really is from that year, people were still saying that even we had generative AI, but yes, we did, but it was not that good. We could still tell, like, there's still little hints even now that we could tell that it's the North Korea video I did at the end of last year, for example. We talked about how those videos were proven to be AI, and the reason they looked really realistic is because he like edited the videos, put filters over it, but there were still tells. Even though that video looked so real, you could tell, because the leadership portrait, Kim Jong-un, on the walls, there was other stuff on the walls, and that would never happen in North Korea. Or his portrait being put on a table haphazardly would never happen in North Korea for the most part. And then like the fence being wonky, all that stuff, there was actual tells. Even when it's getting really convincing, there's still tells in video. So if this was posted in 2023, then we can almost definitively say that this is not AI. So that's where I ran into my issues. I messaged both Melly. So I messaged Oh Hey Melly and I messaged Keycool on TikTok to see if they could tell me where they got these posts, if they could link me to this post, even a web archive, even the Wayback Machine of this post. So, spoiler alert, only both of them read my messages. Keycool responded once. Melly left me on read. So this is what I said to Melly. I saw that she read it, and I'm pretty sure she turned off read receipts soon after that. That might be a conspiracy. That might be me being like self-inflated ego, but it feels like I swear to God, it said seen. And then all of a sudden it just says sent this many days ago to make it look like she never saw it. Now, I don't respond to every DM that I ever get. I get a lot of DMs. She's probably gotten a lot of DMs about this video because it went so viral and she's probably sick of it. And I also I don't hold that against her. I don't know her from Adam. She's probably a lovely person in real life and or young. And I just want to say, I don't hold any ill will towards Melly for not responding. I just find it interesting that when pressed, when asked for where she got this, where the Reddit post is, she can't tell us, because I looked for the Reddit post and the only Reddit posts of this video are from this year, from this month, after this went viral on TikTok. There's no evidence on Reddit, again, that I could find that showed this from 2023. Why would this just get deleted after it goes viral, after she reposts it on TikTok? That's weird. So I also messaged Keycool and asked her. Keycool, again, I can't detect tone in a message, obviously, but Keycool seems, from my interpretation, frustrated that people are asking her and calling her a liar, as she put it. And I, again, I say this all the time in these videos, but it's not that we're calling you a liar. It's that people on the internet lie. And I'm really, really tired of people getting so defensive and mad and legitimately offended that we're calling them a liar when that's not it. I don't know you. You could be a perfectly wonderful, the most honest person in the world. You could be a lying liar who lies. You could be a pathological liar. I have zero way of knowing that. Just please, Keycool, if you ever watch this, for the love of God, it's not personal. It's not personal at all. I was trying to clear your name, girl. I was trying to help you out. I wanted to definitively tell everybody once and for all that this is not AI, so that people would stop calling you a liar. And so, yeah. So again, maybe I'm misinterpreting her message and that's just how she talks. To be fair, I'm a people pleaser, so I'm very explanation points, smiley faces, I'm so friendly, yada yada. So this is what she said to me, and then I asked, okay, cool. She actually told me that she posted on Facebook, not Reddit. So she posted on Facebook, somebody then posted on Reddit, and that's where Melly got it from, allegedly. And so that is where she got it, and she said, I don't care what anybody thinks, I know that it's not AI. And so I said, okay, cool, can you give me some sort of indication of the Reddit post? Can you give me any proof of the Facebook post? And we could prove that this is from 2023. And again, she left me on red. So didn't get that far there. All that to say, I still don't think this is AI. I do believe Keycool, in spite of all this, I do believe her that she really did post this on Facebook in 2023 or a couple years ago. I really do believe that this is genuine footage because I just cannot find anything that actually proves that this is AI, and it's so hard now. But I will say the weird part about this whole thing is that if this is not AI, why is there no evidence that this was posted in 2023? That's what I keep getting stuck on. Why was this conveniently deleted after it went viral on TikTok? Why was every evidence, I reverse image searched screenshots from this video, and in the reverse image Google search, there was all the Facebook posts, everything I found was from this year after Melly posted it, after it went viral. So I will admit that is weird. I just have a hard time believing that this is AI. Melly created it in generative AI, and then somebody else unrelated to Melly, as far as we know, came forward and said, no, this is my footage, and got defensive about it being her footage, and then posted it herself. That just doesn't, that's why another reason why I just kind of believe that this was really from a couple years ago. But I can't find this video. I cannot find it. So even though I don't think it's AI. Something is weird about this. Something is just not quite right. Why is there no footage from this? And I will keep looking. If I find anything, I'll put it when I'm editing this video. I did also message Jeremy, the AI guy. It didn't occur to me to do that until the day that I was filming this. So this is the second time I filmed this video because on Monday my footage was blurry and terrible. So I had to refilm this entire thing. So it just occurred to me this morning to message him. So I did I did DM him the video as well as a little message to see if maybe he can clear this up for us, because he's really good at detecting AI. He's the one that was doing the North Korea videos and helping us see the problems with the North Korea videos. So I will let you guys know yet again if Jeremy responds to me between this and when I'm editing the video. If he replies, I'll let you know what he says. Again, he probably gets way more DMs than even the 2 that I already DM'd. So I'm not holding out hope that he's going to respond. I bet it's going to get buried in all of his DMs. All that to say, if anybody can find proof of this being posted in 2023 somewhere on the internet, that would clear up everything. Again, I did as best I could, but I do miss things every now and then. So if anybody finds that, I will put a community post with another update as well, because I'd be really interested in knowing. Okay, let's do a little bit more of a lighthearted one. This next one is from Broomin' and Bloomin', and I really love this video, so.
Bitch, if you don't push the number 7 again, Jeanette, I swear to God. Here we go. And it'll just keep coming. It'll just keep on coming. Jeanette Elizabeth, push the number 7 again, damn it.
Okay, I'm not gonna debunk this one. I love it. I think it's so beautiful. Let me tell you a little story, the background behind this video as well. But call me an idiot. Call me an absolute fool and an idiot. Go ahead. Call me gullible. Call me whatever you want, but I believe her. And I honestly, I don't know. I believe this video. I'm going to go ahead and believe it regardless, right? So she makes an explanation video, and the context around this is that her sister Jeanette passed away. Not only did her sister Jeanette pass away, but from what I understand, it was an accident. So I assume it was some sort of car accident, but her and her sister were involved. And the person who posted this, who is still alive, was 7 months pregnant at the time. And her sister died in her arms. Her sister took her last breaths, she said, in her arms after the accident. She said her favorite number was 7, which is why she thinks that she keeps doing the number 7 through the microwave. And then there's another significant part of this whole thing that I'll let her share. I don't know the creator's name. I just know that her sister's name is Jeanette. But here's another little just heartwarming little story from her.
A conversation one night, and she straight up told me that she knew for a fact that if something were to ever happen to her, her dad's gonna want the laptop and the phone back. She wanted me to wipe her laptop and her phone history completely. I couldn't log in to either of them for the fucking life of me. I tried everything. I tried her birthday. I tried her social security number. I tried my birthday. Tried my daughter's birthday. I tried her cat's birthday. Like, I tried everything to log into her phone, and I could not get into her phone. Say like 5 months after she passed away, my microwave started just freaking the fuck out. And I thought it was a fuse. I thought it was like something wrong with the microwave. So we unplugged it, took it down. Nothing was wrong with the microwave. Nothing was wrong with it at all. Put it back, and it still spammed the number 7 all the time. And I actually have a video of this. I seen it the other night, and I said, this is really weird, because that was actually Jeanette's favorite number. And that night it dawned on me. I said, I haven't tried putting it was a 6-digit pin, and I haven't tried putting the number 7 in her phone to try to open it up. I put the number 7 6 times in her phone, and her phone opened up. I'll never forget that night that it happened, because the moment that happened, the microwave just started beep, 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 beep. Like, I mean, going off. And I remember looking at the microwave and being like, you fucking bitch.
Okay, but honestly though, even if I didn't believe this one, like I can't come up with the debunk. Like maybe a microwave malfunction is the only thing I can think of. A lot of people were saying that this is like, oh no, this is a smart microwave, and so she could like remotely press these buttons. And this microwave looks like it's from Y2K. Like this microwave looks so old. So I don't think that's it. I don't know. And then just that one number, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna believe this one and believe that this is some sort of proof or hope that there's something in the afterlife. If the creator ever watches this, I just want to say I'm just so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry for your loss. And she also promotes Jeanette Sanctuary is her small business devoted in honor of her sister Jeanette. So if you guys, here's the small business, and I think it's a flower business of some sort. So if anybody wants to check that out and that area out, here's the TikTok. Here it is. Okay, the next TikTok for today is the SOS house. This one you might have already seen. I know Loey talked about this one. This one went massively viral. The video we're going to watch is from Beau Grant, or Married to a Lunatic, who, this is not her video, but she did commentary about this whole situation and gives us a really good rundown of the whole story. So let's watch that first.
Something weird is happening in Plainfield, Illinois. 3 days ago, someone was driving by and noticed that the front porch light was blinking and realized it was an SOS signal. Not only is this property very much abandoned, but they weren't the only person who saw the SOS signal.
Plainfield, Illinois front and back porch lights were flashing SOS. I called 911 twice. Officers said they checked but didn't see or hear anything and wouldn't go back. 20 minutes later, the lights still flashing, and it sounded like someone was calling for help. Stay safe and alert.
Even see in the neighbor's video, this little white light right here, that's not the flashing light. The flashing light's like right here on the porch. This appears to be a police officer checking it out. When the neighbor followed up with police, they said they found nothing suspicious, except that the following night, someone was still flashing SOS. It has now been 3 nights, and this house is repeatedly having SOS signals being flashed via the front porch light. The woman whose parents lived here before it was abandoned back in 2020 is speaking out. She explains that this house also has a basement, and then explains like the layout of the house, because guess what? Sheriff's office keeps getting called to this house, but all they're doing is checking the perimeter. A single officer has gone inside of the house to see if there is someone being held in the house, someone who is in trouble. Why are these lights flashing SOS for 3 nights in a row now? NBC has even reached out to the local police department trying to figure out what is going on, and their response has been they've checked the perimeter and everything looks secure. If someone is being held in this house, they have been in there for at least 3 days, signaling for help. We now know that not only has this house been abandoned since 2020, it also has a basement.
Okay, so before we debunk this one, a lot of people were commenting like, how is this possible? If it's abandoned, how does this house have electricity? And I want to clear that up really quick first. Just because a house is abandoned doesn't mean that it doesn't have electricity. A lot of properties, most properties are still owned by somebody, and sometimes the property owners keep electricity on because they don't want the house to get too cold or too hot, because it'll obviously damage the property and the home. But in this case, this is a solar light, so that is why it works. No electricity is needed for this light. Some people, of course, were just saying it's a malfunction. It's just the light malfunctioning, or it's about to die, so it's flashing. But obviously that can't be the case, because why is it flashing Morse code for SOS? That is so clearly the SOS code. That's just too on the nose. It's not possible that this is just a fluke. Turns out this was blown way out of proportion, and this was a very simple, silly miscommunication. Police were being so vague because they knew the owners and they already knew that it was fine. The owner of the property's daughter came forward because she had a TikTok account. She showed her and her dad on the property, proved that her dad had a key, walking around the property without any issues. Like, her and her family owns this house. She showed us inside the house and explained that nobody was in danger. The house is truly abandoned and there was nobody inside. She said that this SOS light thing was a malfunction of the light, in fact, in terms of the light was dying. It needed to be replaced. And when it was dying, it glitched onto its SOS function. So a lot of lights do actually have a Morse code SOS function, which makes a lot of sense if you think about it. If you needed rescue on a hike, or if you were camping, and many other reasons, if you needed rescue, a light flashing SOS will be way more effective than you shouting into the abyss or trying to make other kinds of signals. A light will likely be way more visible at a further distance than, sketching SOS in the ground, or when you're trying to just cover all your bases. Like, a lot of lights have an SOS function on purpose. This is by design. This is a perk of the light, not a bug. The bug is that it happened to be dying and unfortunately went on this SOS function, which obviously doesn't help, because then in the age of the internet, it goes viral like this. Everybody was okay, thankfully, and it really was just a weird light. For this next one, I'm really curious to know what you guys think, because I also could not definitively debunk this one, but I have a lot of thoughts. It only has 500,000 views, so I mean, that's tons of views, but it's not as viral as the videos we usually talk about. So I have a feeling many of you guys also haven't seen this one. And yeah, this one's really, really weird. It's really impressive if it's fake. I might speed up this video because it's kind of long, so I might speed up the first part of her explaining stuff.
On Christmas Eve in 2022, my dad accidentally took a very clear image of a ghost in the house that I grew up in. My friends have been pushing me for years to share this story, and after a recent holiday party, I was like, okay, fine, I will show the people what they want. I will also start this by, a few months before this had happened, my stepmom had told us a story that she was looking at my dad standing in the kitchen and she could see a man clearly standing behind him. She described him as tall, longish hair, and wearing a plaid shirt, and she kind of blinked and looked away and looked back, and it was gone. She told my dad about it. My dad was like, whatever, that's weird, and that was kind of the end of the story. Fast forward to December of 2022. This is Christmas Eve. Everybody else had gone to bed, and my dad, being the sentimental man that he is, he was just sitting out by the fireplace and looking at the Christmas lights on the tree, relaxing. And in the photo, you can see that he's kind of sitting back on the couch and he has his feet up on the coffee table. When he was out there, he took a picture of the Christmas tree, and I will eventually show you this image, but he took a picture of the Christmas tree, and that was kind of it. Fast forward to the end of January, I get this image from my stepmom. I was honestly really freaked out by the picture because it's very clear that there is someone in the image that I did not recognize as someone that's ever been in my house. The only other people in the house was my stepmom, who was very short, and my stepsister, who was very skinny, and her son, who was a toddler at the time. I questioned her a bunch, and she basically said that she was swiping through my dad's images on his phone, and he hadn't gone back to look at those pictures, and came across this image from Christmas Eve. So this was the image that my dad had taken. Prepare yourself for a jump scare, but this is nobody that I know. We have zoomed in on the picture, we have lightened it, we have darkened it, and you can see through the image, like you can see the blinds and curtains behind the figure. This is nobody that we know from our past. It's neither of my grandpas. But I will say that my stepmom said that the figure does resemble the man that she had seen standing behind my dad. I have sent this picture to multiple like paranormal societies. We're just very curious. We're not religious. We're not non-believers, but it's also super bizarre. And we just want to figure out, like, who is he? My parents have asked neighbors if they know of anyone that's died in the house. The house was built in 1969. They don't know of anybody that has died there. We knew the previous owners before they moved out. And I guess I'm just posting this to see if anybody can shed some light on this. I do have a girlfriend whose mom is a medium or in tune with the other side, and she got really bad vibes from this image, which is strange to me because to me the house feels very warm and cozy. I've never had any bad feelings there. And yeah, so this is a ghost that lives in my parents' house. We haven't really seen him since. There's no other pictures of him, but that's our Christmas ghost.
Okay, so yet again, elephant in the room. Why is this not AI? Why can't this just not be AI? And people were not really accusing her of using AI to make this photo, but some people in the comments were saying, use AI to enhance the photo so you can kind of tell more details about it. And she responded to somebody who suggested that and said, no, I hate ChatGPT and I hate how it's ruining the planet. And to me, again, maybe I'm naive, but to me, she wasn't like announcing that to the world. She just said it in a comment that, as far as she knows, nobody would ever see except the person she commented back to. And to me, that seems like genuinely, I hate ChatGPT and I hate AI. So to me, that like indicates that most likely she's telling the truth about this not being AI. And again, there's no indication that it is. Everything in the picture makes sense. The lighting makes sense. If you zoom in, everything is blurred in the same way, like the focus of the shadow figure, the figure, whatever it is, and the background, they're like the same level of like focus and blurriness. Like there's no harsh lines. I did run this through one of the AI detectors and it came back instantly as confident that this is not AI. Take the detectors with a grain of salt, of course, but it was pretty quick to like, this is not AI. And then also her saying that this is from 2022. Again, assuming that's true, assuming she's telling the truth, which to be fair, we never know, but assuming that's true, it's likely that this is not AI. If this photo is edited, it was edited very well. To be fair, I'm not a Photoshop expert, but if this is edited, we would need some sort of expert to come forward and explain why they think that that's the case. If this is edited, it's amazingly well done. So if you zoom in, like I said, the pixels of the photo like match, like the figure and the background match, like they are like the same thing. All the lighting in the room makes sense for what it is. The lines of the figure aren't like too smooth, like it doesn't look like a cutout. Again, if somebody knows better than me, please, for the love of God, correct me if I'm wrong. If there's some sort of editing expert who can look at this and prove that this was edited into the photo, I would love to know. That is like the only way that I could really think to debunk this, is that this was edited, just edited so well that nobody that I saw in the comments could say that it was edited. Again, another logical explanation, another possible logical explanation is that this was set up in real life. So somebody in her family, her dad was sitting there on the couch, you can see his feet, but somebody in the family dressed up in all black and then walked by in this position and he took that photo. So there was somebody in the room, but the lighting is so low. The image being see-through doesn't really tell us that it's a ghost necessarily, because again, when iPhone pictures compress a photo, it's going to lose some of its definition and its quality. And I think that the see-through kind of effect could be the lighting and the way that it was compressed through iPhone personally. So I think it's possible that maybe somebody's dressed in all black. The other thing is, like, if her dad is just a goofy little guy, maybe the person posting this, maybe she actually thinks this is real, but her dad was playing a prank on everybody in the family. Just throwing ideas out. I don't know, but like sometimes dads are silly. Sometimes dads need to be silly gooses, and they might get quite the thrill out of pranking everybody, and then it would be part of the thrill to never tell people that it was a lie. You know what I mean? Other weird things about the photo though is just that the figure is so tall. It like looks really, really tall. And if you look at the feet or the legs, you can't see where they go into, which is what's tripping me up about this being a real person. Because again, like there's no, like it does kind of look like it's floating. On the other hand, if you zoom in, you could see a tiny bit of light reflected off the hand that might indicate this is a 3D object, because there's just a little bit of light reflecting off the hand and the arm. Like I said, if this is edited, it's very well done, but being edited is the only like debunking I can think of. Some people were saying, is this just a shadow of something in the room? And I'm like, of what? I think the lighting would look different. Of what? How could this possibly? I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. Somebody tell me. Somebody let me know, because this photo is driving me absolutely nuts. I don't think that it's AI. I think most likely it is edited, or the dad is tricking the daughter in some way, her in some way, and he's messing with everybody. So she truly thinks it's real. I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments, or email me or DM me if you have any evidence to how this is faked. All right, this next one for today is from Bella XXX, and yeah, this is a short one, so let's just watch it first.
I just got to my apartment. I don't know who left this out here. What is that?
Everyone in the comments of this video is telling her that this is a poppet. So what is a poppet? A poppet is a witchcraft doll. So you know the witchcraft dolls that are associated with Hollywood, those dolls in Hollywood and on movies where the doll usually has somebody's hair or DNA in some way incorporated into the doll, and then somebody evil in the movie pokes pins into the doll or sets the doll on fire. The witches of Eastwick come to mind, and they use that to hurt the person in real life. So those dolls generally are called something that begins with a V, which I'm not going to say because that actually is quite the slur. You can look it up if you want to know all the details, but essentially white colonizers used to use that V term to describe African traditions and cultures and like legitimate practices in a racist way. They used it as a way to demonize African American cultures as well as to perpetuate stereotypes about them as well. So I'm just going to refer to those as witchcraft dolls. And these witchcraft dolls are specific to New Orleans, whereas poppets are like the general umbrella of these dolls. They are both essentially the same thing, but the witchcraft dolls with the V that people often call them are specific more to a certain area, to the New Orleans area, whereas poppets are like the blanket statement, all kinds of dolls from around the world that are used in this manner. These dolls also, from what I read and my research, are very misunderstood. They're often, like I said, used in Hollywood as malevolent magic, as ways for people to be evil to somebody and hurt somebody else. But in real witchcraft, apparently these types of dolls, there's something called sympathetic magic in witchcraft. And that sympathetic magic that's what we were just talking about, where they believe one object or a doll can, if it's connected to somebody, could be used to affect somebody in a completely different place. That's kind of like what sympathetic magic is. The hair or the toenail or the thing representing the person that's put into the doll would be called a taglock. And these dolls are misunderstood because they are often used for benevolent magic as well. They are often used for healing, for love, for luck. They are not always used for bad reasons. It's not always used as an evil practice. These dolls are made out of anything, really. They're paper, husks, clay, wax, any type of material that can kind of make it into a doll-like figure. They are effigies. Everybody telling her this in the comments, people were like, just to be safe, make sure you don't touch it. This could be really dangerous. So she uses gloves and a bag and makes sure to not touch this doll and then throws it away. She says that she told the leasing office so that they were aware that she just moved into the building, so she's not sure what's going on. But she told the leasing office. She didn't bother to tell the police because there's no evidence of a crime. And I agree with her. I totally understand why she wouldn't go to police with this, because there is no evidence of a crime. They're not going to do anything. They're going to say okay, well, come back when somebody actually does something bad. So what the hell? How did this end up here? People were suggesting that perhaps this was meant as a gift. Perhaps it was a neighbor who saw that she moved into the neighborhood or this complex recently and wanted to offer her a gift from their culture as kind of a welcome present for her moving in. Others, of course, suggested that it was somebody who really hated her and was hoping that she would take the bait, take this doll into her house without thinking much of it, and then they could use it as sympathetic magic to put a curse on her, essentially. She did say in the follow-up videos that she hopes that it's a gift and that that's the best case scenario, but she couldn't risk it because she believes in this stuff. She did throw it away just to be safe. To me, I personally think that, it's possible this was a prank. In my opinion, I think maybe the neighborhood kids might have made this and just put it on randomly near somebody's door to freak them out. Maybe it was teenagers. I think that's a possibility. Fair to throw it away. To be fair, if I just saw this randomly on my front door without any context, yeah, that would really freak me out too. However, I'd like to make the argument that it's possible she did this herself for a viral TikTok video. And in my opinion, I think that's what was done. I think that the OP probably made this doll herself and then put it in front of her door to take this video, again, to go viral on TikTok because it's really creepy, just objectively creepy, and it worked. Like I said, I understand not calling the police, but I would need actual evidence that she told the leasing office. She said she put cameras up and did all this other safety precautions thing, but I need like proof. I would need proof that she actually told the leasing office about this and to be on alert and everything, because I just don't buy that somebody actually did this. I mean, just think about it. If this was a gift, if somebody in the neighborhood wanted to welcome her to the neighborhood and this was really part of their culture and made this for her as a present, as a welcoming gift, they would have put a note or they would have knocked on her door. It makes no sense that they would have left it with no context. You wouldn't just put something like this on somebody's door without writing a note saying, hey, I'm Emma from 315. Here is something that I made for you, that I make for everybody who moves in here. And it's just something from this particular culture that I'm from. And it's supposed to bring good luck and prosperity to your home. I don't know, like you would do that, or you knock on the door and say, hey, I made this for you. I just don't buy that somebody would just leave this as a present and not leave any sort of note or context. If this was somebody actually leaving it as a witchcraft gift, if somebody was actually leaving it hoping she'd bring it into her home so they could put a curse on her, you'd think there'd be a sneakier way to do it. You'd think that they would have a sneakier witchcraft method to do something like that. Why would they leave the evidence right outside of her door? There's also just cameras everywhere nowadays. If you don't have a camera set up, one of your neighbors does. One of your neighbors has a camera. We are almost always being recorded unless we are inside of our homes. You'd also think they would try to disguise it as a gift and leave a note saying that this is for you, it's a gift, when they had bad intentions. You know what I mean? I just have a feeling that somebody, if they actually were trying to do this, wouldn't do it this obviously. So I would bet either OP made this herself to go viral, or that this was a prank by some teenagers knowing that it would just freak somebody out, but they weren't actually going to do anything with it. All right, here's a different one. So this is our 7th TikTok for today. This is from the account Jamie Cornely, I think is how you say it. And I'm including this for a reason that you might not expect. It's still a really creepy video, but yeah, I'll explain. I'm going to cut out a lot of the beginning because she is not an experienced content creator and says a lot of repeated stuff. We don't need to watch the whole video. So just FYI, I'm only going to play you kind of the part right before and then the video that she's showing us itself.
Positive vibes all around, and hopefully it moves on, and yeah, let me know what you think.
So like I said, I cut out a lot of the beginning of the video because she doesn't really get to the point. This poor woman, everybody gave her crap for that. But basically she saw this on her Ring doorbell camera. She said in the video that it looks like a woman who is pregnant and holding a baby, maybe. And yeah, it looks like that, but it also kind of looks like the bent neck lady. Like it kind of low key looks like this person's got their neck bent or broken to the side. Very creepy. It's so creepy too because it's only there for a second. Like it is kind of like a glitch almost in the camera where an entity shows up. But this creator debunks her own video as soon as she finds out, and this is so funny. She comments on her own video and says, everyone, I think it's my husband and not a ghost. I made another video explaining, so fucking sorry, LOL. And sure enough, she did post a follow-up video. She tried to correct this as soon as she figured it out. She did post a follow-up saying it was her husband and that the camera glitched. This is, again, sending me into orbit. The fact that she thought that this bent neck lady with a baby who was pregnant in a white gown at the end of her driveway was actually her husband is amazing. It's even funnier because there were psychics in the comments, but at least one psychic here's the comment, like gives all these predictions about the video and who this woman might be and what she's feeling about this video, and it's literally her husband. So she explains in another video that her husband was in his boxers, explaining why the legs are bare, and then explaining that why he was holding their baby in a sleep sack. So if you haven't worked with babies before, or you don't know, sleep sacks are safe blankets because blankets can suffocate babies if they get tangled up in them. So we have little sleep sacks. They're like little zip up jackets that their arms go through. They're very cute. And a lot of the time they're long. I worked at daycare for a hot minute and I worked with babies, and these sleep sacks can be like so long. They can be like dress size. They can, like, when you're holding the baby, their legs could be like right here, but the sleep sack will like go down to almost your knees. They get ridiculously long. I believe mostly just so that when the baby grows, you don't have to buy a new sleep sack. The sleep sack will last for a very long time. But I think that's what's happening here. It's like a combination of his boxers reflecting light and then the sleep sack making it look like he's kind of wearing a nightgown. It's possible he's maybe looking down at his phone too, but that's what it is. It's her husband. I think the frame that she got when the camera glitched, I think she just got the split second when her husband was either moving his head or tilting his head, and that's why his neck looks like that. I know it looks crazy, but like you can't see any details on Ring doorbell cameras, and this is so far away and it's just a flash. I wanted to include this to prove that there are people telling the truth on TikTok. She did post this in good faith and from a genuine place where she was freaked out and wanted people to help her try to figure out what this was. And I just also wanted to show that there are people that genuinely feel bad when they when they find something out, when they find out an explanation and they come forward immediately and they feel bad for tricking people. So I just think that's really important, because I think sometimes we get so lost in the sauce with debunking TikToks that we assume literally everybody's lying. And I usually go under the assumption that everybody's lying until proven otherwise, not the other way around. So I think we sometimes get a little too jaded, especially me. And I think it's really important to watch videos like this too, where people were telling the truth as far as they knew. There was an explanation, but they were coming from a genuine place and telling the truth. Those videos are out there. There are genuine people on TikTok. The next one is from a user I also can't say, but I'll credit them on the screen. But for the love of God.
This footage is seriously freaking people out. A thermal camera was set up on a mountain, a place that's supposed to be completely off limits. No hikers, no houses, nothing. But around midnight, the camera picked up two human figures. One was clearly chasing the other. They ran through the trees until the heat signature vanished. And then something even stranger happened. The camera suddenly caught what looked like buildings.
This fucking guy. Okay, again, don't leave any hate. Please do not engage with people. Like, just leave them alone. But I will air my frustration. This is probably the most frustrating video of my TikToks for today. I am so annoyed with people like this, knowingly and intentionally spread misinformation to try to go viral and to get people freaked out. Right off the bat, just like critical thinking skills, why can't he tell us what mountain range this is? If this was why isn't there news stories about this? Why couldn't he tell us specifically in the world where this is? Why couldn't he tell us what do you mean a random camera? This looks more like a drone that's like moving around. And second of all, this is easily debunked. This is footage from a video game. And he made up a story and is talking about like how serious he is in this video. He's like, this is really serious, you guys. This is really freaking people out. Something really messed up is going on this abandoned mountain, and they found this footage and yada yada. He's being so fucking for real. And he's just straight up lying to all of us for clicks. This is so annoying. We already have an AI problem, a misinformation problem, a fake news problem online. Absolutely everywhere we go, we already can barely believe anything that we see, especially on TikTok. And to just purposely do this and muddy the waters is so irresponsible to me, and so like sinister almost. Like, that might be a little dramatic, but just like so fucked up to purposely try to trick people. Like, just especially a made up story that you pulled out of your ass. Weird behavior. Anyway, everybody in the comments saying that this is from a video game, from the video game Stalker. One of the comments said that this is from Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl from the teaser trailer. I couldn't find that specifically. I watched like 20 trailers, I'm not even kidding, on YouTube for this, and I could not find this footage from a Shadow of Chernobyl teaser trailer. However, so many different people saying that this is from Stalker. I do believe them. I did go to my Patreon because I'm not a gamer. People in my Discord on my Patreon, I sent this to them and asked them if they had any idea if anybody played this game or knew. And thank you to this patron who did find this footage from Instagram, because I found like something similar, but they found the best one that matched the most. And some of that footage really does, allegedly from the same story, does match up very, very well. And so my patron members were telling me that likely this is from like the footage that he had in this video was from actual gameplay. So it's probably not just really, really easy to find right when you look up some key words. It's possible like maybe there's some filters over this as well to try to hide the fact that it's from a video game. This perplexes me. Like, why do you think, like, you think people won't find out? Like, you think nobody will figure this out? Like, never underestimate the power of internet sleuths. And the entire internet, billions of people are going to be smarter than one individual trying to fool people. So I don't know what he was going for here. If again, it was just the clicks, he heard this from somewhere else and just blindly believed it without looking it up. I have no idea, but either way, such an irresponsible thing to post, and also just so silly, so ridiculous, and so obviously fake. Let's move on to the next one. This is the 9th TikTok for today. This is from the account America. This one's fun.
So I'm out minding my own business. Y'all see the Coca-Cola building there, and there's Georgia Tech. What is this? What's flying in the air? What the hell is this? And it's like a pole going down, but it can't. That's impossible. That cannot be anything that's that high, like erect. That's Coca-Cola, honey. That's 20-something floors. So that's in the sky. What is this? Come on, Zoom. Don't fail me now. Oh, no. What is this in the sky? And of course, when I zoom in. Okay, I'm going to take a regular video and then zoom it in when I get in the house. But you see Georgia Tech? Something's flying over, but it looks like something's hanging down from it. And it's lighting up right in my face. Okay now. Okay. We all see this. What in the hell is that? Over Georgia Tech. What can possibly be that high? Higher than the dorms? I'm gonna go upstairs and see what the hell this is. This don't make no sense. What is this? Wait a minute now. Let me light my camera. What is this? Okay, let me. Tasha, you finish? As soon as you said it's going to scary something. Now, where did it go? What the? I'm glad I recorded. I just came upstairs and not a thing gone. Oh, hell no. What was that?
America, you are officially invited to my next birthday party. You seem like a really, really fun person, and I really want to hang out with you. I'm going to debunk your video, though. I'm so sorry. That beam coming down, that looks like a spaceship beam. I mean, it looks like a spaceship, but that beam coming down is a pole. And I know many of you have probably already guessed that by watching that video with me, but I will say, I looked through so many of these comments and they are split almost 50-50 exactly between people that honestly believe that this is some sort of UFO or spaceship and people that are saying it's a light pole. It is very split, like just looking through the comments. It's actually pretty wild. There doesn't seem to be a consensus. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about why this is a light pole. The three main arguments for people saying that this can't be a light pole, that there is no logical explanation, and this has to be some sort of spaceship or UFO, is basically these three things overall. So first of all, they say, how can the light pole be bigger? How is it taller than all the other buildings in the area? The Coca-Cola building, she said in the video, was 20 stories or something. How is it possible that it's that much bigger? Two, how did it disappear through the video? So when she goes upstairs, how did it just disappear? Light poles don't just disappear a few minutes later. And then three, a lot of people saying that they're from Atlanta, Georgia, or drive around that area all the time. And they're like, there's no light pole there. I drive through there all the time. I know for a fact there's no light pole there. So let's tackle these one by one. It looks taller than the other buildings. Simply one word: perception. The Coca-Cola building is further away from us than the pole. So the pole looks taller. Now it's hard to deduce that just from watching the video once, because the Coca-Cola building is so large that it does kind of look like they're almost parallel to each other, but they're not parallel to each other. The Coca-Cola building is pretty far back. It's just a huge building and the light pole is closer, so it looks like it's taller than all the other buildings. It's simply perception. These are extremely, I'll tell you what kind of light poles these are at the very end, but these are extremely tall light poles, but still the perception makes it look that way. The second argument being that this thing disappears when she goes upstairs. That can also be explained by perception, but also like slight deception by the way she presents the video. Again, probably not intentional on her part, but it is there. So if we look at a screenshot of before she goes upstairs and then we take a screenshot of after she goes upstairs, these two perceptions are a lot more different than she kind of makes it seem in the video. In fact, I would argue that these perspectives are almost completely different. So look at this. I'm going to circle stuff. So watch the screen. So look at this area of buildings at the beginning of the video from the lower perspective, and then look at that same spot in the higher perspective. You can't, like, the building's missing at the beginning of the video. You can't even see that building in the beginning. And then additionally, look at all the trees are gone when she goes upstairs. You could see a lot more of the city. You could see so much more of the landscape in the second one, and the trees are gone, showing us that the perspectives are just quite different. And therefore, in the second part where it disappears, quote unquote, it could be behind the clouds, it could be behind a building, it could be out of the shot completely. Like, based on her perception, it could be completely to the right and out of her camera's shot altogether. The perceptions are just so much different than she's kind of making it seem in the video. The way that she talks about it in the video, she kind of almost acts like she just like was standing in a spot, had an elevator right next to her, and she took an elevator up 5 stories right straight up, right? But that's not what she did. She took stairs, and we don't know what stairs she took. We don't know how far she walked to those stairs, and we don't know where those stairs are in terms of the light pole, like if she turned in any which way. It's not like she just straight up floated up and is looking at literally the exact same thing from a higher perspective. She walked around, so the perception's different. And then last, the people that say they're from Georgia or Atlanta and drive in that area all the time and there's no light pole there. My argument against that is I think we really underestimate how unobservant we are in our surroundings. And I'll give you an example. Back when I was debunking another TikTok, we talked about how somebody like posted a video of a tree that looked really weird, that didn't look like a real tree. And the answer to that, it turned out people were trying to make it seem like it was some sort of glitch in the Matrix. And it turns out that was a cell phone tower disguised as a tree. And that was actually a really common thing. There are cell phone towers and kinds of things in the environment that they make it look like trees so that it's not here's some pictures, so it's not such an eyesore, so that it blends in more with the environment and doesn't look so ugly. Not once in my life had I seen one of these in real life. I had no idea that these existed until I did that video. And then right after that video, sure enough, I was driving around in the area, and in my area, it was like on my way to my parents' house. And I've literally driven that route quite literally thousands of times, not exaggerating. I've lived here for over 30 years. I've lived here since I was 3 years old. Never seen this before. If you had told me it was there, I would have said that you were a liar. I saw one of those poles, one of those cell towers that was disguised as a tree. Sure enough, there it was in front of my own eyes. And I had never seen it before because I didn't know that they existed, and the invention was good. It just blended in with the surroundings like it was intended to do. So I honestly think that so many people saying this, I think, yeah, when you're just thinking back to that area, you might be looking at a different spot. You might just not be observant, not be looking up, especially if you're there in the daytime. It's just blending in with your surroundings. I think we really, really, really overestimate how observant we are. And we miss stuff all the time. And then last, here's some comments that people left taking a picture of this particular light pole in that area. Somebody found it on Google Maps, and then other people took another pole, a picture allegedly of this pole. So here's this in the daylight in context, which looks exactly like this to me. And then somebody else in the comments thank you to the comments again for helping me fill in the gaps, said this is a high mast light pole, that is called a high mast light pole. So it is bigger than a normal light pole, and it's got these lights all around it to, I think, light up bigger areas. And here's some pictures of a high mast light pole. Look similar to you? So that's what this is. All right, and our last TikTok for today is an apparition in the garage. So this is from cast.com.
Okay, take that off, baby. We're leaving, okay? You can do it when we get back. Deal? Okay, can you come inside with me real quick? Come on, go inside real quick. Get yourself some water, okay?
Oof, okay, this kind of like the microwave one. I hate to debunk this one because I feel really bad that this person said that they had lost several people recently and really thought that this was an apparition of one of their loved ones. But I am going to debunk it because there is actually a legit debunk for this one. Like, I do have a good debunk for this one. Some of you may already know what I'm going to say, and the reason I am debunking this one and including it is because, again, the comment section was very divided. There was a lot of people saying that they see the apparition, that they totally believe this is an apparition, that it is like the best evidence. You always see a comment that says like, this is the best ghost evidence I've ever seen. So I am sorry to ruin this one for her especially, but we have to be honest that this is not a ghost. This is a very simple explanation. So really quick, I'm going to show you, because a lot of people in the comments are saying that they see that the apparition is in there the entire time, not just after she closes the door and turns off the lights. So I'm going to repeat the parts of the video where the apparition actually is with like to circle stuff, just in case you missed it. So here is just some clips from the videos of what we're looking at. This is a cobweb. This is just a cobweb. It probably has some dust on it and it probably detached from where it originally was. And so it's like floating. The dust is making it a tiny bit heavier. So it's floating around in this way. And then it's reflecting off the light. And when you turn off the lights and like the night vision is on, it's reflecting off the light even more. Once you see it through that lens, you can't unsee it. Like you can't see the apparition anymore because all you could see is a cobweb. She did respond to at least least one person saying it was a cobweb, that no, it's not a cobweb. I already checked. It can't be a cobweb. There's no cobweb there. And again, I'm so sorry. That doesn't mean it's not a cobweb. There's so many explanations for that. Perhaps after this video was taken and before you checked, somebody went in the garage and knocked it out of the way or knocked it over so you can't find it anymore. Perhaps it got stuck to something, so it's like flat on the wall somewhere, got stuck or knocked over somehow, and you can't see it anymore. It could also be like sometimes these kinds of things are like on the camera lens. I don't know if that's the case for this one, but sometimes it looks like it's in a certain place by the way it looks on the footage, but it's in actuality, it's like on the lens, the same way that a bug walking across a camera lens looks like a shadow walking like on the ground. Sometimes it looks like a shadow figure. People mistake bugs on the lens all the time for ghosts, and it'll be on the lens, but it kind of looks in the video like it's further away, like it's on the ground or like somewhere in the corner of the video. So kind of like that. So there's a lot of explanations for why you might not have seen a cobweb, but it still was a cobweb. I'm so sorry. I am really sorry. Legit. I am sorry to debunk that one. I feel bad. If you guys are interested in the Patreon, we're doing the Not Safe for Work iceberg over there. It is on Patreon and it is available on Dropbox or BitChute. It's not visually graphic, but I'm just uncensored in my language and crass, and we get really into the deep, dark depths of human sexuality and psychology is what we're doing over there. The iceberg is very long, as you can see, and we are down in the deeper tiers. Parts 1 through 12 are already up. This is for mid tiers and above, just FYI. And it is also, like I said, available on Dropbox or BitChute. So please make sure you have one of those available before you sign up. Details will be down below. Thank you again to Hungry Root for sponsoring. If you guys are interested, please use my discount code. Helps me out a lot to let them know that I sent you. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks so much to all of the top tier patrons on the screen right now. A special shout out to our newest top tiers, which this week, I'm so sorry if I'm saying your guys' names wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But the newest are Georgina Kanya and Ashley Eisen. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Okay, bye.